Thank you for attending the Week of Kindness. Coming up next is another powerful, impactful, amazing speaker. Get your notepad out, get your pen. Let's get ready and enjoy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Deborah J. Hollick, and I am here again on Week of Kindness, Gifts and Giveaways. And I'm so excited to be here today because I am blessed to share this next little while with you and my good friend, Tammy Rader. So Tammy, hello.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you doing today?
Today, I'm doing amazing. Thank you.
Great. Well, we have so much to share with the audience today. But, before we do that, Tammy, do you mind if I just share a little bit about you from your bio with everybody so they know what you've been up to and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Great. So everyone, I am here today with Tammy Rader. She is a two-time #1 international best-selling author in 2 books one's called The Cinderella Monologues, and the other one is called Live Life in Wow, Nuggets of Wonder, Openness, and Wisdom. And she is also an emerging speaker. So we are very lucky to have her today. She is a cancer survivor and mentor. She's very focused on guiding those with cancer through and beyond their journey to triumph. And she's an expert at it, let me tell you that. Having been diagnosed just 39 days apart with both breast and rectal cancer, Tammy is now not only just a survivor, she is a thriver. She finds resilience with the help of humor, practicing mindset, and having gratitude. She currently lives in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and is the founder of BeYOUtiful, Beyond Your Diagnosis by Tam, and has programs, courses, group, and one-on-one talks. She's going to be doing lots of great things this year, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But one of the sweetest things about Tammy is she loves the simple things in life, just things like going for walks, the sounds of laughter, ladybugs, and of course, unicorns, and flip-flops. Thank you, Tammy, for being here today on Week of Kindness. This is just so much fun to have you. We were so lucky to be together last year, and here we are again to this year.
I know, this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to interview you. So, Tammy, let's just get right into things and let everybody know a little bit about your story. So, we know from your bio that you were diagnosed with cancer 39 days apart. Boy, that's tough. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know that it comes too much tougher than that. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, there is nothing like when you hear the first diagnosis, let alone the second diagnosis. And so it all started January of 2021. I found a lump in my breast and did the necessary things to get it checked out. And it turned out it was breast cancer. And one thing led to another, and I had to have a mastectomy. And so that changes a person, but we'll come back to that. And then 39 days later, I had from previous years, I was having some issues. I've had endometriosis and IBS my whole life. So, excuse me, I was having some issues the previous year, but with COVID, my appointments kept getting canceled. And so I ended up getting that appointment March 29th of 2021, just 39 days after I was diagnosed with my breast cancer. And they told me I had rectal cancer. So what does a person do?
Well, I'm sure you felt like you got hit by a Mack truck. I mean, you must have just felt like you slammed into a wall at about 100 miles an hour.
That's probably putting it mildly as to what I felt like. Yeah, it was. Sometimes when I think about it, I go back and I relive the moment, and it's like it chokes me up. it makes me a little teary because I think I didn't know how I was going to get from the next day, never less alone the next minute of what was happening. Everything felt like it was spinning so out of control. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure glad you're here today to be able to spend some time with me and chat about this. And one thing I want to just mention, in when you were speaking, you said you found a lump in your breast. So the importance of doing those breast exams on a regular basis for women and men too, because men also get breast cancer.
Yes.
So it's
they do.
important for us all to be doing regular checkups, right? And catching it early.
Yes. Yes. Very, very important. Yes. I was brushing my hair. I had nice, long, dark hair at that time. And I was brushing my hair and I found a lump, or my hand went across my chest, and I decided to check myself. And yeah. So, but doing it regularly it's very, very important. Picking a day of the month every day, like whether it's the 1st, whether it's the 12th, whatever day, every month you should be checking yourselves, both men and women.
Well, that makes just real good sense, Tammy. So, and thank you for sharing that with everyone. So you went ahead and you had to have surgery.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the first surgery was not my choice. So I had a surgery March 2021, and then living with one breast brings on certain challenges of itself. Some people, when I would talk to people and they would ask me certain things, I would explain some things to them and they're like, really? I would never think of that. It's like, so many people don't know what it's like to live with one breast, the lopsided feeling, the dressing yourself every day, trying to figure out, how to wear them, constantly pulling out your shirt because the one side is always going up. And then there's the fear. There is the fear with that other breast of every little ping and pang or feeling that you get. Is that cancer? Is the cancer back? I don't know. And then you do, instead of doing one exam every month, you're doing 15 exams a day because you don't know, right? And it's in your head and you think what to do. And so if I could jump ahead a little bit, I am 10 days out from having my second mastectomy. So I've had my second and last because there's no more boobs to take. So I've had my second and last mastectomy just 10 days ago. And I'm feeling good, and I'm very glad that I'm feeling the way I am. However, with a deep breath, she says, when I first saw the bandages again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to get emotional,
Take your
but
time. We have lots of time.
When I first saw the bandages again, my first thought was, I made the wrong choice, because this was my choice. I wanted this. I wanted to alleviate, whatever the word is. I wanted to take the chance of getting the cancer back in that breast. I wanted control of that. I didn't have control when I was told the first two cancers. And so I wanted to take control of this. And it's so difficult to go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and see this big bandage. It's not just a little bandage, it's 10 inches across my chest. It's and then that breast that I lived with, I had two boobs all my life, and then I had one boob for 2 years, and now I don't have any. And living with the one, it just becomes second nature for the last 2 years. And then when you wake up and you see that it's gone, it was a shock. And it's sort of like grief, and it's a lot to process. So,
Well, I
yes.
think, or I would think that all of this is a lot to process, not just the diagnosis and then everything that happens in between. So let's just go back a little bit, Tammy, and talk about your journey in between. So you not only had to deal with the surgery from breast cancer, then you also had to have some course of treatment for the
Yes.
rectal cancer, because after all, you're here today. So something happened that was very successful, which is wonderful. Do you want to share anything with that, with the people who are listening?
Sure. Thank you. I ended up having 36 rounds of radiation and 3 rounds of chemo for the rectal cancer. And yes, I'm very happy to say that that treatment worked. It shrunk the tumor and there is no sign of cancer in my bum. So that makes me very, very happy. And then, so what we had to do is, so they took the breast, and it had already gone to my lymph nodes through the breast cancer. So once they took that, we basically figured the cancer was gone from the breast. So then they did all of the treatments for the rectal cancer first. And then when all that was sort of healed, because, you never really heal, we started with the breast cancer treatment. So then I had to do an additional 20 rounds of radiation and 6 more rounds of chemo with the breast cancer. And I finally finished all of my treatments February of 2022. And I got to ring my third, and I'm going to say it, my final bell for cancer. So for some of you who don't know, when you get, after your treatments are done, whether it's, chemo, radiation, immunotherapy, you get to ring this bell. And it's a massive significance to say that your treatments are done. And I not only rang 1, I rang 3. So I'm very excited to say that.
That's wonderful. And I imagine the support around that with the hospital staff and other patients. And I would think that bell ringing would give other patients so much hope and willpower and all of that too. So I love that idea that it's just, let the bells ring out, that just gives a whole new meaning to it,
Yes, it does. And when you're sitting there and you're waiting for your treatment to come and you hear the bell, it's like, you get all these tingles and you think, okay, that's going to be me, and it's just, it's something to look forward to. And I know I will say that I do know that not everyone on this journey gets to ring a bell. And I am sorry that does happen, but my journey, I was able to, and I don't take it for granted that I was able to. So, yeah.
Well, I've gotten to know you a little bit in the last little while, Tammy. And I mean, first of all, you look like the picture of health. I have to say that you look absolutely wonderful. And it is so great to see that beautiful smile.
Thank you.
And that's one thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about how you maintain keeping that beautiful smile, because I know that that's something you really strive to do on a daily basis. So did you want to share anything with that? Like, you developed some procedures for yourself, some protocol for yourself, so that helped you really get through this. And now you're able to help others with it. So do you want to share a little bit about that with us?
Sure. Thank you. So it's funny when people say, well, you don't look sick, but it's learning mindset. We've been taught, especially after what happened with COVID, there's a lot of new things that have come out about mental health and mindset and words that we really haven't talked about before. And my mindset, or I've always had a positive personality where I I would try to always see the glass as half full. Didn't always happen, but yeah, so I've learned that through this process that it's not what happens to you. It's how you handle it yourself that really helps you get through it. It's so my business now that's coming out, it's BeYOUtiful, and it's BeYoutiful, because being beautiful is one thing. Going through a diagnosis and trying to remain beautiful, especially when things happen, surgeries, the scars from the radiation, the hair loss from the chemo, there's so many different things that happen. And being you is, I wanted it to be where it's a celebration of your life, no matter what part of your journey that you're in. And I was grateful every single day. People would say, well, how do you stay happy every day? And it's like, you know what? Every day I wake up, every breath I get to take, every sunset I get to see. I love doing that kind of stuff. Spending the time with my friends and my family now, because for 2 years I wasn't allowed to be or see anyone really, because you have to be so careful when you're going through the chemo. The days that I got through the chemo, I was grateful for. And so I kind of came up with my own ways of being thankful. As soon as you wake up in the morning, say, I'm thankful for another day, and yeah, different things like that. Mindset is everything. Having a positive attitude of gratitude,
You're preaching to the choir there. I absolutely believe that. And, let's talk a little bit about those books that you're part of, because in some ways, I've heard it said, and I have to say, I agree. They say that things happen for us, not to us. And that might be pretty darn hard when you're faced with 2 cancer diagnoses. Yeah, really? Like, okay, whose idea was that one? Kind of thing. But as you look at your life now and what's happening with your business and, the way you're blossoming into other things, if I may put it that way, you wouldn't have that same story.
No, I would, honestly, I would have probably never ever said that I'm a 2-time #1 international best-selling author. And that makes me very happy. And I haven't even got my own book done yet, which I'm in the middle of working on still. So I'm hoping to maybe put a #3 instead of a 2. But yes, the Cinderella monologues, being with 21 other authors that all have their own stories to tell, and going from tragedy to triumph, from wounded to wonderful, or different, however you want to say it. And then the Live Life in Wow book, which I'm grateful that you were the author of that, and you got me, or you invited me to be on that journey with you. And I think there was 14 other authors in that book with us. And, it's bringing it forward, the nuggets of openness, wonder, and wisdom, because that's what you have to look for every single day. I'm not going to lie and sit here and say that it's been every day I find something positive and every day I'm smiling and laughing, because it wasn't. Truthfully, it wasn't. And if I may, last year, actually only 3 months ago, I lost my dad. And so I'm, coming off of the radiation and the treatments and thinking, oh, everything's hunky-dory, and now we're gonna, get on the path of better health, and then you get hit with something that's tragic. And now I'm, learning to grieve my dad. And And then all the firsts comes up. It was right at Thanksgiving, and then it was their anniversary, and then it's Christmas and New Year's, and then I have this second mastectomy, and now I'm grieving a body part that, and this cancer journey isn't fun by any means, but getting back to you or getting back to what we were talking about, was the opportunities that I have been given. I actually have a tattoo on my back that says, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity," Albert Einstein. And I've had that tattoo for 12, 15 years now. And it never really hit me why I loved that so much, because in the middle of any difficulty, no matter what you're going through, there's always a positive somewhere. Whether you've got to turn up many rocks to see it, whether you've got to dig deep, look hard, it's there. So, yeah.
Well, and it's true. When we look for it, mine those nuggets, as you and I like to say, we do find them. And it's not easy sometimes, but it makes it easier as we look for them.
Yes.
It gives us something more positive to focus on than, everybody has troubles. Some, like yourself, a whole lot more than others. But it doesn't matter, people want to go, "Oh, well, why this when, there's a problem. Somebody says they have a problem, and somebody has to one up them." It's not a contest.
No.
And everybody's pain and trouble and challenges are big and real to them. And we have to have empathy for people with that, I believe. You agree?
I do. Yes. Being kind, that word, it has so much more meaning now. 15, 20 years ago, be kind, you teach your kids that, be kind. But today it just means more, being kind to others.
It doesn't cost us anything.
No, and you don't have
to smile, to give a kind word to someone. It doesn't cost us anything, and it can be everything to somebody else. So let's both encourage people to be kind wherever they possibly can, and to get into that great habit, because it's a wonderful habit to have.
Yes. And you don't need to know what someone else is going through just for you to be kind to them as well. So
100%, I agree with you, and thank you for mentioning that.
Yes.
So I want to go on now, because we are getting kind of toward the end of our time together. So I want to make sure that we get a few things in here, because you have lots of things going on your website, and you've got a journal that I believe that people can get, and I know you've got some free gifts. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
But I know that one of the wonderful services you provide, and I just love this, Tammy, I'm so glad that you offer this, is, I know a lot of people. I've known many people in my life and lost people to cancer, and thank goodness I've had many who have survived. But people always want to give something, and they want to give from the heart. They want to give something meaningful, and there are lots of things they can. But one of the services that I just love that you offer is I believe you call them tender talks. Is that correct? I got that right? And you offer gift certificates that people can buy for other people. And I just love that, because people all around the world can be giving that to other people. So do you do these calls with people, and they can be like 30-minute calls or hour, or maybe you do them in 30-minute increments? Tell us more about that, and whether or not, do you do them by Zoom? Do you do them by phone? How can someone buy one of these certificates, and how can they gift them to someone else?
Thank you so much for asking about that. Yes, it is something new that I'm doing, and the tender talk sort of came up because it's a very tender subject. And I don't know what it is. I like doing things with T's because my name's Tam. So, so a tender talk with Tam. I don't know.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so just going to my website, this thing that's in the corner here, this QR code, you can click it and that will take you to my link, and it will take you to my website, and on there you can book tenor talks with me. And right now we're doing half hours, or right now I'm doing half an hours, just to sort of keep it, you get to know someone, or sometimes people don't want to talk. They just want you to, they just sort of want to know that you're there. So just a random, a quick get to know you, a quick, okay, what cancers do you have? Because that's what we talk about. And then how are you doing? And then sometimes I'm just an ear. Sometimes people don't want me to talk. They just want to tell me what's going on with them. And they feel so relieved, isn't even the best word. They just feel like such a weight has been lifted off their shoulders, because even though they have family members, even though they have partners, even though they have best friends and some other people to talk to, it's, as funny as this sounds, unless you've been there, gone through it, you don't understand what it feels like. You don't understand the pain of the radiation, or what it's like to lose your hair, or all these different, some of the other cancer terminologies that people don't understand. And I'm not saying I know everything. This is me and my experience and my journey that's being able to help others. And yes, they can go on my website, and that will be available. And we can do 30 minutes, we can do 45, we can do an hour, whatever it ends up being, that's great.
And you sell them like in multiples, so people can
Yes.
buy them in multiples of 3 or 5 or 10,
Yes.
maybe it depends on, the person, and they just be wonderful gifts for people, because
Yes.
as you say, this is your journey, and their journey is going to be unique to them.
Every
And
journey
it
is
makes a
unique.
huge difference. And I
Yes.
know you've got some other things you're working on too. You've got your journal that people can buy, and that is something you've put together from, like I say, your own protocol of what you did to help you get through.
Yes, it's a customized, editable 90-page journal. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there is a lot of journal prompts that, and I sort of called it a daily memos and a journal, because it's for men and women. It's not just for women going through breast cancer, because there's so many other cancers out there. But there's different things in there, different information on, mastectomies, or losing your hair, chemo, radiation, what receipts to keep for income tax purposes. A lot of people don't think about things like that. And I have information amongst other things in that as well. And that you can go there.
Well, and for the people who maybe don't use QR codes.
Oh, yes.
What is your website, Tammy?
My website, yes. Thank you, Deborah. My website is BeYoutiful.health. And like I said before, BeYoutiful, I had to be different. So it's BeYoutiful.health. Yes, and that will get you there.
And then it's okay. So,
Yeah.
and I imagine that when people put that in there, they have to really watch for autocorrect, because it probably doesn't like the spelling that way.
Yes. I just couldn't keep everything simple. I have to change everything.
Well, it's good to keep life interesting.
Yes.
So, you've got lots of things going on, so it's probably a great idea for people to check your website pretty often, because I know the last time I took a look at your website, there were certain things on there, and then I just took a look the other day and I noticed there's more things happening. So it's your website is evergreen. It's just going and growing like crazy. So it's a wonderful thing. So I'm going to encourage everybody to check your website often, because there's so many wonderful things there, and you're so creative, And I want to mention to people too that a lot of the what they see on your website has been created by you. It's not a magical, somebody else doing it. It's your work and your creation. So Tammy is very talented. And
I've had a little bit of help on that, yes, but yes.
but a lot of it comes from you. I mean, we all need help, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
I think a lot of it comes from you. So, so Tammy, what else would you like to share before we're gonna have to sign off here? I think we could talk all day, but
We probably could.
I think we're gonna have to cut it short because we've got a time limit. So is there any words of wisdom you'd like to share with people just right now? Say someone has just gotten a diagnosis. What would you like to say to that person and their family?
First of all, breathe. It, you know what? Not everything, you didn't get it overnight. It's not going to go away overnight, and the treatments aren't going to happen. Breathe, take a step back, and make sure that you advocate for yourself. If you feel that something's not right, or you're not happy with this, talk to your doctors, talk to your oncologist or your medical team, and advocate for yourself. That was a big thing for me, especially with my second mastectomy, because I've been to 2 other surgeons and they didn't want to do it, and I had to advocate for myself. So yeah. And then, you know what, there's still a bright future ahead of your diagnosis. And that's the reason I'm here, or one of the reasons that I'm here. But another thing is communication. So if I may, just for 1 second, my partner is amazing, and he was amazing through all of this. But when people would call, they would say, "How's Tammy?" No one ever asked, "How's David?" So make sure that you keep the lines of communication open with your partner, with your spouse, your kids, whoever you have in your circle. Make sure that they have a voice to talk to, or just the lines of communication need to stay open for everyone to get through it. And then laugh, just laugh. Because without it, fine, go online, you can access so many things online that are so silly these days, or sit down and watch Netflix or whatever it is that you need to do, but get some laughter in, because that is so important. Laughter has helped me. I laugh at myself every day. Like with the second and last mastectomy, what else are they going to take? Just laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And love yourself.
I think, Tammy, we will just quickly mention that that on your profile page, your speaker page with Week of Kindness, you've got some free gifts there that people can click on. So I'm going to encourage people to do that. And they're very helpful for people of all ages, and not just for cancer.
That's right.
I'm going to ask people to click on there and go to your website, and you get, we're going to have to sign off because I think we're like about at the last minute.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you the last word, and then I'm just going to say goodbye to everyone, and we're going to have to say goodbye. So
okay, I'm going to say that you don't have to have cancer to feel like crap, and you don't have to feel like crap when you have cancer. So smile, laugh, and yes, a lot of my things on my website are for everyone going through a hard time, not just cancer. So thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you for Week of Kindness, and go out there and smile. Show someone your kindness.
perfect. And they can read all about your journey in Cinderella Monologues and Live Life and Wow, which are both available on Amazon, right?
Yes, they are. Thank you.
All right. And with that, thank you for joining me on Week of Kindness. Everyone, enjoy all the speakers. Have lots of fun with this wonderful program. And again, Tammy Rader, thank you so much. BeYOUtiful.
Thank you, Deborah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, I hope you enjoyed that just as much as I did. Thank you so much for all of that great information. Hey, we're not done yet, so just relax. We're going to continue on with our next speaker in just a few moments.